Today, I'll be listing off all of the free, or at least reasonably priced activities that you can do here in the city of Vancouver and in places surrounding the city of Vancouver. So let's get started. Although Vancouver is an expensive city, there's actually a ton of free activities that you can do that you may have not been aware of. So I'm here to share those with you, starting with things that are absolutely free, and then we'll go to things that are, discounted or relatively affordable. First, let's talk about free stuff because I love free stuff. So the first one, this won't come as a surprise, but I had to include it first, is explore nature. How could I not put it on this list? Okay, we're in Vancouver, but specifically, there are a lot of hikes that you can do ranging from easy to incredibly difficult. I tried to do the Squamish Chief once, and it was the biggest struggle of my life. But there's websites like Vancouver Trails and All Trails, which are super helpful because you can determine how difficult a hike is going to be. You can see a bunch of reviews on it. And if you don't have a car, that's totally fine because there's actually a ton of hikes that are just within the Lower Mainland. And if you want a real challenge, there is Nature's Stairmaster, otherwise known as the Grouse Grind. I've actually never done it myself, but it seems pretty brutal. It's actually free to do. If you want to hike up and down, it will cost you $0. But I highly recommend hiking up and then taking the gondola down Grouse Mountain because the views are just phenomenal. And then as far as parks go, some of my favorite ones, and I guess the most popular ones, are Stanley Park, as well as Queen Elizabeth Park, which is beautiful in the spring. It is just like covered with cherry blossoms. And then that leads me to another thing. There's also a ton of free tennis courts, basketball courts that you can take advantage of. And Queen Elizabeth Park actually has its own disc golf area. I've never played, but it looks super fun. We pretty much get like a few months of summer and then like another few months of spring, which are super beautiful. So it's really great to take advantage of those warm months and, do all of these outdoor things. And that leads me to the next free outdoor activity, which is the Lynn Canyon Suspension Bridge. So if you are visiting Vancouver for the first time, you've probably received a brochure or two about the Capilano Suspension Bridge. It's a very popular tourist attraction here, and it's also pretty pricey. So actually, there is a Lynn Canyon Suspension Bridge located in North Van, which is honestly just as fun. It's also a suspension bridge, and the best part is it is absolutely free. So I would say that it's a pretty similar experience and you get to save a bunch of money. Okay, so before we continue to talk about all of the free and cheap things that you can do here in Vancouver, I'd like to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Neo Financial. And I'd like to specifically talk about Neo Money, which is actually really relevant to this video because you're going to be saving a lot of money by listening to these tips, so you might as well keep your savings in a secure place. Opening up a Neo Money account allows you to do everything that an everyday bank account does, but you earn a higher interest rate with no minimum and no annual or monthly fees. It also has some of the highest interest rates on savings in Canada, about 1.3%. And you can make bill payments, conduct e-transfers, all that good stuff, bank-to-bank transactions, all with no monthly fees or minimum balances, and unlimited free transactions. You're now also able to use your cash back to pay out your credit or move it to your savings account. And you can manage everything from the phone app whenever and wherever, which makes it super convenient if you're primarily a phone user and always on the go, like me. So if you're interested in learning more about this savings account and if it's right for you, you can click the link down below in the description. Okay, so another thing that you can do is visit a free museum. I am a huge fan of the Burnaby Heritage Village Museum. I mentioned it in the last video, and it contains a bunch of historical 1920s era buildings around a big village street. And there's also a 1912 fairground carousel. So it's a great activity to do, as a family with kids on a date. And it's really educational and just fun. So I highly recommend. Another great museum is the Museum of Anthropology over at UBC, the University of British Columbia, which technically does cost money to enter, But if you are a UBC student, it's absolutely free, and I loved going there as a former UBC student myself. The exhibits are fantastic, and it's specifically a great way to learn about the Indigenous history on this land. So again, a great educational museum for people of all ages. Okay, so next, there's actually a ton of one-off events that happen throughout the year that are absolutely free. They've actually been canceled for the past couple of years, but I think they might be making a comeback. There's a bunch of different cultural things like Italian Day, the Greek festival, the Pride Parade, all sorts of things that happen throughout the year that are absolutely free. They're just like on the street. Every Tuesday in the summer months, they transform Second Beach, located at Stanley Park, into this big outdoor movie theater. It's like this 4-story tall inflatable movie screen, and you basically just need to bring your own blankets, chairs to sit on, and you can also bring in like donations, and I think they also sell popcorn and different treats. So it's a good summertime movie experience, and it's pretty much free. But speaking of movies, as I mentioned in the previous video, Tuesdays are a very good day for finding discounted activities to do. For example, the movie theater. Cineplex movie theaters are all half-price tickets on Tuesdays, but because the tickets are half off, Tuesdays do tend to be a very popular day to go to the movies, so I definitely recommend booking your tickets in advance online. And another great thing to do on a Tuesday specifically is to check out the Vancouver Art Gallery. So on Tuesdays, specifically in like the evening, the art gallery is absolutely free by donation, so you can give whatever donation you can give to enter the art gallery rather than paying the full price, which I think is like $20, $25 normally. It might be even more. I honestly have not been to the art gallery for full price in a long time. So, you know, that's a great way to see local artists and just like all sorts of art for a fraction of the price. Okay, so the last thing, this isn't actually specifically an activity, it's more of a tip, but I highly recommend checking Groupon for discounts. That's how I was able to find a cheaper 2-for-1 deal at experiences like Dark Table Restaurant, which is actually a really cool experience, by the way. It's a restaurant that is completely in the dark, and all of the serving staff are visually impaired. So it's actually a really cool experience to just like eat in pitch black. So if you're into that, definitely recommend. But anyways, Groupon is great. There's a ton on there. Hopefully these ideas sparked some inspiration for your next frugal adventure here in Vancouver. Special thanks again to Neo Financial for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know if you end up going to any of the things that I just listed and what you thought.